Hello everyone. Today we will be diving into the world of e-file and express notice of assessment. I am Parminder Kaur, a community success specialist with TaxCycle, and I will be guiding you through the process. All right, so what we are going to cover today, we will discuss e-file options, including where to set them up. We will walk you through completing a T183 authorization and transmitting a T1 return in different ways before filing. We will address and resolve review messages, and I will also show you how to set up a pre-authorized debit payment form for clients making payments. We will explore various methods of transmitting files, including a family return. Additionally, I will guide you on setting up the express notice of assessment and collecting it for your clients to include in their print set when they leave with their completed package. Lastly, we will cover the process of doing a refile or adjustment to a T1 return. All right, so this is all we will cover today in today's session, and this will take us about 45 minutes. So let's dive right into the tax cycle. So this is the return that I have created or I have carried forward from the 2023. But before that, I want to show you that there are several ways that you can access options, because that's what we suggest, that before you create any new file for the current year, you should be configuring your options ahead of time. So you can access your options from the file from here, or if you're like me, you can access your options from the top from your quick access toolbar. And also, if you are on your start screen, you will be able to see on your start screen from the sidebar, the options are also available in there. But if you are like me, as I mentioned, if you have your options at the quick access toolbar, so I'm just gonna do not reboot for now. Okay, so this is the options that you will have a little range at the top, whether or not you have your return open in the tax cycle or not. You will have always this quick access toolbar here. And if you don't have it selected, your options in quick access toolbar, you can just use this drop down arrow, and then you can also select your options from here, which is right here. Okay, let's click on options first. So as you can see that I am using options profile from here. And if you want to make any changes to your options profile, you can just simply click on this blue link here, make changes. So if you want to make any changes to your options profile. And important thing that I want to mention today is that if you navigate to your transmission section, you will be able to see your e-file credentials. This is the area where you enter your e-file number and e-file password, and you will also like to update that here as you renew your e-file credentials every fall. Another thing is that if you are filing Quebec returns, if you have your credentials for NetFile, this is the area where you will enter those ones. Another thing I want to show you is something under the T1, TP1, and then there's a new file. So you would definitely want to set this up before you create a new file every year, and you want to click on 2023, and then we can scroll it down. This is the area where you can set some defaults for your files, so that it can minimize your data entry, and it can save you a few clicks as well. So here, if we scroll down, you will be able to see there are questions like pre-assessment contact method, whom you want to get contacted about the return. So if it is contact preparer, if you want to get contacted, or if this is a client who needs to be contacted. So you can select those defaults from here. And if you want to select it when you are in the form or in the worksheet, so you can select it no default. So whenever you are in the return, whenever you are entering the data, you can select it right from there. And then we have here some questions like, as you can see, climate action incentive. You can choose it from here. And then the important that I want to show you is that T183 default values. So signing date, you can see that we have chosen insert the current date when printing. So it will insert the current date on this form whenever we are printing or transmitting. So this is something important. If you want to enter the signing date manually, or if you want to leave it blank, you can choose it this one. Or if you want to select it right in when you are in the form, you can choose no default. And then we have a notice of assessment. So if you want, preparer downloads the express notice of assessment and provide a copy to the client, you can choose that here. And if this is something you want your client to receive paper copy through the Canada Post, you can choose that from here. And then we have an option for online mail, and you can choose it from here. If client has not registered for the online mail, or if they have registered or client already registered, this is something you can choose it from here. And Canada Revenue Agency promoting the digital services, so they're just minimizing a little bit of the paperwork, so you can always suggest the client already registered or register client. And then we have a pre-authorized debit. So here we have chosen no default, and the other option is if taxpayer does not wish to use pre-authorized debit. So we have just decided that we will choose right from the form. All right, so these are some things that if you make any changes, this apply will highlight it, so you can hit apply and then okay. But before that, I want to mention one more thing in general. If you click on the current year, there is this automatic lock files. So file locking is really great tool that you can prevent people from inadvertently make changes to the file, and you can do it manually, but you can automate that process here. So as soon as you transmit the return to the CRA. This is where if you have this option checked off, then it will automatically lock the file for you. Okay, we are good, and then we're gonna close it. Now we have this file for Thomas Sims 2023 T1 return, and I have already preloaded AFR data to save our time, and this is the info worksheet, and we have some of the information have been carried forward from the prior year, and there is some information that has been already it has got this information from the options that we have set up before. And then if we go to the bottom here, you will see that there are some questions that are related to T183, delivery of notice of assessment. So if you want to receive the express notice of assessment and provide a copy to your client, you would like to come in here and select this option that we have selected here. And then we have these options: post-assessment review contact, pre-assessment and post-assessment questions that we have selected contact client. And this was the basic information we have selected. Now we will go into the review messages for Thomas so that we can fix those review messages or solve those review messages before we go into transmit his T1 return. So let's go to the review sidebar. So you can see that we have selected Thomas from here, and then we have an option to see all the review messages if we want, or we can get into the specific, but we are going to choose require attention. So we are going to choose the review messages that require our attention today. So here we have a billing, so you can just simply double click on that, or if you see that it just say that if we show invoice details does not match. This is something that if we want to see the details on a schedule charges, let's say no, because this does not meet with the specified defaults. So as soon as we solve those review messages, the review message will disappear from the list. And you can use this light bulb as well to never show this message for any of the client if you do not want to see that message for any of your clients, you can choose it from here. And if you want to see that message again, you can go into the options and change the preference from there as well. So let's say we are good with this. And then we have Kevin, who has a missing detail. And you can see this is the red circle with this line inside of it. This means this is a critical message. We won't be able to sign it off. That means we have to resolve it before we e-file. That means it can prevent us from e-filing. So we're gonna make sure that we are resolving. So we are good. And then this is the one that is more like cautious, and then the one that is with question mark inside of it, it is more of a suggestion. And the one that is with the flag icon, this is showing that this information or this review message is related to AFR. All right, so and then they are saying that the address does not match, so we can just simply say that's fine. Address have been updated. We can say, we can mention it this way. So now we have a donation amount here for this a foundation. We don't have any information for that this year, so we can just simply delete this item. And then we have a memo for on the address. So we can look at the memo, what it is. So Tom just changed the job. So there will be a annuity for next year. So you can just simply sign it off if this is something you have looked into like this. And if you want to go to a problem field, you can just simply double click on the review message, or you can click on and the blue link that you see in the review message. So it will take you to the problem field. So it says that we want to confirm the province of residence this year. If it is correct, yeah, it is correct. We are good with this. And now it is asking that if the client sell their principal residence this year, no. And this is the information that we got from CRA. So we can double click on this and we can say this is the amount that we know. That's fine. And then we want to include, if we want to include the contribution that we got from the AFR, then we can just simply include that. So include this information. We are good with this. Then we can sign the few of them are from here. Any of the suggestion or any of the cautious message, you can sign it off if this is. Most of the time you would like to look into the things that why it is there, because these review messages helps you identify or dive deeper into the problem that why it is there. And this is here we have a eligible capital gain. So we got a capital gain from the AFR, but we need to clarify that what type of capital gain it is. So we can just simply put it is QSPC 800, and the review message will disappear from here. And we can just simply sign that off. And then we have a review message with cumulative investment gain or losses. So we can use we can just simply sign it off. And then we have a T4E, that is the information. And you can see also the CRA AFR. This is the column that is indicating that we have information imported from CRA through AFR. And there is a review message, and we can put this information like this. Let's say they got the parental benefits this year. And no, actually, we want this this client do want to pay the balance by pre-authorized. So let's a little bit talk about T185. So if you are using this with your client to authorize the CRA to take payment from the account, so let's double click on this. So this is the pre-authorized debit agreement form. So then the way that the way this works is we will go to the form, and once we are sure what our final balance is going to be, it is going to give us a review message to say that we want to enter the balance due. So from here, if you hover the cursor over it, you will be able to see that if the client doesn't want to pay the balance by pre-authorized debit, or if they want, then we can enter the balance due from the return. So as soon as we click on this, you will be able to see that that it has picked the balance due amount from the return, and it is going to give us the additional audit messages that we are missing a bank information, and now we are going to put in a date for when they can take payment for. So we're gonna hover the cursor over those audit messages, and we can just set withdrawal date to the payment due date, which is because that's the later date here. And then we need to put in the bank account. We can make something up here, let's say. And then we have institution number. Okay, so we got our account number information, we got the date, and we will get this individual to sign it, and when we transmit it, it will transmit all of this information. But when we print it, it is not going to print the banking information on the form. In case it inadvertently gets printed, and that way it cannot make it into the wrong hands, because this is very sensitive information and we don't want just anybody get this, because but if you do want, if you do need for whatever reason to print it with the account number on it, you can just simply right click on the form and click on print PDF form, and then from here you can choose print as appear on the screen. So if you check this off, it will print it for you. But if you're actually getting a PDF, or if you want to print it, you can choose those options accordingly. But the thing is that if you want to have all the information as it is on the form, then you can just select this option here, print as appear on the screen, and you can save these settings for this form and then generate the PDF. You can also use T7 DRA form. So let's open that form really quick from here. T7 DRA. So this is something, if your client would rather pay the balance in person at the bank, this is a multi-form, so you can split up the balance owing to multiple forms if the client will need to pay the balance over the time. So this is something that you would use at that time. All right, so this was all about pre-authorized debit form. Now we will talk about, we have here T1135. So let's double click on this. So I have said that it is applicable for Thomas this year. So I am going to go ahead with T1135. I haven't completed it yet, so I'm going to just do a simplified method here. So we're going to choose simplified. And then so we need to come down, and we have to come up a little bit. Okay, we need to come down here, and then there is this section, simplified reporting method, and here we are going to say maybe we had some US assets. So let's say US assets, and then we can choose here type of property, and then we can put the gross income, let's say 750, and then there is a gain or loss like this. And then this, once you have put all this information, there is one more question on the bottom. So we want to insert the current date here. So here, so you can see from this review message, this is just a reminder that we have to file this by the due date of the tax return. The penalties for missing or not filing this on time are quite punitive. So we don't want to miss this filing deadline. So we have kept this checked off. So insert the current date upon transmission or printing. So we're gonna just simply sign it off here. And then we have some of the T2125 override, which I have put that number so we could get the foreign income, or we got the T185. And so I'm gonna just simply sign those off because I know those numbers are correct. And there is this training, use the AFR value, and then we have this contract payments from CRA. So this is the option that gives you if you want to transfer this information to T2125, or if you want to transfer directly to a line but do not want to create T2125, or no transfer already included this information. So let's say no transfer. All right, so we have all the error messages that has been cleared for Thomas, and these are some of the review messages that are related to other members that are in the file. We have already resolved all the review message for Thomas's return, so we are going to transmit now. So for transmit, you will go on the sidebar and click on the transmit, and this is where you will see that for the auth wrap, you have already valid consent on file. And for the transmit T1 EFILE, you can see that it is ready to transmit. If you want to print the T183 on the PDF, you can simply click on this link here. And you can choose your preferences if you want to print on a hard copy, or if you want to print as a PDF, you can do that from here. And then if this is something you are sending this, if this is a request for e-signature, you are sending it to a tax folder or DocuSign, you can choose that here as well. And if it is email, or if you just want to have this as a PDF, you can choose your preferences according to your situation or your client situation. And the other thing we would recommend is that you mask first 5 digits of your SIN number or business number for the security purposes. So we always do that, and we recommend everyone to do that as well. And then once you have your selections ready, and then you can just simply save those ones for that form and then generate PDF. If this is something, if this is the e-signature using the tax folder, TaxCycle will automatically update the status here as soon as it receives the signature from your client. But if you are using any other means of signature, whether it's a paper or other application, you have to choose here and confirm that you have received the signature from your client. So from here, you can either choose paper signature if this is what you have got. If it's an e-signature using other application, you can choose it from here. So let's click on paper signature. You can see that we are ready to transmit now the T1 EFILE. Then we have a T1135. If you want to print it in a similar way, you can come here and click on the link. You will be able to see the configurations and click on generate PDF. It will generate the PDF for you, and then you can just simply choose the method of the signature that you have received. Similarly for a pre-authorized debit agreement form, and then you can also see that here that we got the T185 as well. And then we can confirm the paper signature for the pre-authorized debit agreement as well. Now you can see that we have all these T1 EFILE and T1135 and the pre-authorized debit agreement. All of these are ready to transmit, and you can see that these are checked off from here. So any of these files that we want to transmit to the CRA, the ones that we have selected, if any of the ones that you don't want to select, you can simply uncheck it from here or check it off to include it. And at the bottom, you can see that what are those files that have been included to transmit. So if you want to go ahead, you can transmit selected from here. So let's do it from here. Now it is asking us this dialog box asking for the confirmation. So we can just simply say transmit now. And you can see at the bottom that you still need to transmit the following for Abigail, Jason, and Kevin. So these are the ones, these are the family members that are in this return or in this file. So we want to transmit the T1 e-file for these family members as well. All right, so as soon as we transmit it, as the transmission is successful, you will be able to see that confirmation number for all of those files that we have transmitted to the CRA. And also under the T1 e-file, you will be able to see the notice of assessment. You can collect it from this link here, or you can see the bulletin appears as soon as transmission is successful. So you can also click on here, or you can click on download express notice of assessment from here. We will get into this later. I will show you how you can get into the express notice of assessment, but let's go ahead and quickly fix the review messages for the other family members here. So we're gonna just simply sign those off, the ones that we are sure. There are some that we know that there is no data on those slips, so we can just simply delete those slips because those ones are carried forward and they don't have any data this year. And the client return has a balance due, so we can just say the client is not interested in this one, so we can sign those off. All right, so we don't have any review message for Abigail now, and we want to go ahead into the Jason's return, and we want to look into his return for the review messages. So we are good with this information, and T21, 25. We can sign those off. That looks good now. And we want to look into Kevin's return as well. So for Kevin's return, we are good. There is no review message for that. All right, so what I want to show you now, that's very interesting. It's very time-saving feature. You have 3 taxpayers in one file now, because fourth one we have already transmitted. So if you have multiple family members in one return or in one file, how you can transmit in a one click, how you can transmit all those returns in a single click. So there is this feature that we have under client menu at the top, and then you can click on transmit family, or you can click on file and then click on transmit family. From here, you will be able to see all the family members transmit status. So you can see that we have already transmitted successfully for Thomas's return. So we can just simply opt him out from here. And there is a link for express notice of assessment. So this is the option to grab it here for the family. And we have selected for rest of the taxpayers that are in the file. And also we have confirmed that all the outstanding signatures on the transmission we have received. So we have checked off for that. So now, as you can see, all of them are selected. What we can do is simply click on transmit here. So it is asking us transmit now. Yes, we want to transmit for all of the family members that are in this file. So now it is transmitting all those returns. As you can see, the transmission is successful, and we can get the confirmation here, or we can look into the express notice of assessment from here as well. So let's go back in the return. So as you remember, we had that file locking feature checked off when we were in the options. So now, as you can see, we have transmitted this return. Our file is locked. If we want to unlock it, we can click on it, or we can dismiss this bulletin. And also the second bulletin, we can see notice of assessment that is available for Kevin, and similarly for other other taxpayers. Now I want to quickly show you that is batch transmit. So this is something that we have talked about. So first we saw that how you can transmit or return a single taxpayer. Now we have seen that how you can transmit for a family. Now we want to see that if you have a multiple taxpayers, how you can transmit their return in a batch if you have prepared for them already. So you can go into the file and then click on client manager, and then I'm gonna go back from here. Let's do it. Let's clear this off because I just want to show you how this thing works. Okay. We should be able to go back from here. But what I want to show you that once you have your client manager running and you want to come into the quick search, and from here you want to select ready to T1 e-file, and from here you want to select the year. So for now, if we go to 2023, we may not see any of the file because I may not have any of the file prepared because the one that I prepared I already transmitted it. So let's just choose, just to show you the functionality, let's choose 2022, and then we have chosen T1 TP1 here. So now as soon as I do that, I got all the result that I got, or the list of the returns. I got it as that I chosen it from the quick search. So I can choose here which client that I want to transmit, or if I want to select all of those clients, I can just choose it from here. Or if I want to select them individually, I can do that as well by selecting it like this. And then you can click on this box here to get to the batch operation, which is this window here. And now we want to do a transmit. So you want to select the batch operation, that is transmit. And then after that, there is this standard options that you want to look into, and then there is the transmission options. And once you have those selected, you want to click on pre-flight. This is really great feature because this is where you can look at, or this is an option to look at the calculation changes if there is any before you e-file. So you can see there is no changes. So we can just simply go ahead and start transmitting those those files. We can just simply or quickly with a single click, we can just transmit all those files. All right, so as you can see on the side that we got the confirmation number, and these files have been transmitted and few of them have been working. So now we can see that all 4 files have been successfully transmitted. We got the confirmation number as well. So this is how you batch transmit those files. So let's go back to Express notice of assessment. So for that, I am in Kevin Sims' return, and we are going to get notice of assessment for him. So as you remember, I mentioned you that we have as soon as we have transmitted the return to CRA, we will see there is a notice of assessment bulletin appeared, and we are now going to click on download notice of assessment. And as we are doing this for Kevin, so I'm gonna just unselect all of the other ones. We are just going to go ahead with Kevin. So as soon as you click on that, you see that there is another window appeared. Now it has taken me to the CRA website, and which is purely as it's not a real data that we are getting from there. And now it is confirming that this is the SIN number that you wanted to request the express notice of assessment for. Now, as you can see that it says, please close this web browser because TaxCycle has successfully connected to CRA. Now we're going to close it from here, and you can see that we got notice of assessment for Kevin here. all of the information that we filled, we had as a T4, we had it entered, and we had some basic information for him. So all of that is in here. So we can import it by clicking on here. If you want, you can print it from here as well. So we're going to click on import notice of assessment, and we want to go in preparer, and then I would like to collapse all, and then just want to click on worksheets, and then I want to look into express notice of assessment. So now you can see that there is an express notice of assessment download results, and you can see that how many times, if there is any reassessment happens, you will be able to see all of that history comes in here if you import or download the express notice of assessment again. So we got all that information in here now. Another place that you want to look into is correspondence. And let me see here, there is a notice of assessment. So this is this worksheet that you see here, under the correspondence, this is the letter, and it is more similar format as what client will receive from CRA. So this is something clients are more familiar with. So you can, if you want, you can email it to the customer by clicking on here, or if you can include it when you are sending it to your client, or you can get into the print as well. And this is where you can include this in when you are sending the whole file or package to your client. All right, so you got a notice of assessment, that how you can get into that, and once you have imported, where you can look into. Now, what if you need to make changes to the return once you have transmitted it? So we will come back to Thomas return, and what we want to do is we want to make changes to the return. Let's say there is some changes in here in the income. There is some dividends, let's say 500. Okay, so before that, we want to make sure that we have unlocked the return to start making changes. So we're going to unlock, and then we want to put the dividends. Let's say 500. There was a change. So it says that this value is not from the EFR, but let's say this is something that we got it from the client now because it has been changed. So let's just sign it off here. And as soon as we do that, you see at the top, the bulletin has appeared that create a T1 adjustment, or you can get into the review as well. This is where you will also see that you can get into or create a T1 adjustment. So let's see here. Return has changed since a T1 e-file, so we're gonna double click on that, and we can just click on this light bulb and create a T1 adjustment request. So now we will enter here send through refile, and then we want to say that authorization or authorized representative was submitted previously. Here, so many accountants choose to elect level 2 as their standard authorization level for all the clients, so they don't need to, or they don't have to go back to the client to sign a new form if there is any adjustments required later. So we have chosen was submitted previously from here, and then you will see all the list of changes that we have made, and this is the whole thing, and then we will have a taxpayer signature. All right, so this is something we got this T1 adjustment request form filled, and now we want to go into the preparer under the filing. So I'm going to collapse that again. So we want to go into filing and authorization, and then we want to look into T183. Okay, so here you can see that we have a review message, so amounts have changed by less than 300, so this is acceptable to CRA. The printed value was this much, and reprint, it is asking us to reprint T183. So you would still need to get a signature on new 183 for an amended return. Even if sometime if there is a change which is less than 300, if you don't need to get a signature from your client, but for the amended return, you will need to get a signature on the T183. And then once you are good with this, we can just simply sign it off here, and then we can just click on the review message, and this amount, we are good. So we want to go in to the transmit once we have our review messages resolved. Then once you come in here, there will be a change. Instead of, so we have already T1 e-file here, and then we have a T1 refile, and we can confirm that we have a signature on T183 on paper, and then we can just simply click on transmit now to transmit our refile. And you can see that according to our file naming convention, we can see that it is asking us to save this file as with the keyword adjusted. So we're going to save this. And now we have our T1 refile transmitted successfully. And if you want to get your notice of assessment, you will be able to get it from here, because it has this is a multi-form, so it will keep the history of each assessment. All right, I think this is all what I had, or that's all that I wanted to show you today. If you have any questions related to transmitting or e-file, or related to express notice of assessment, you can always reach out to our support team. But also we have a tremendous amount of resources on our website. You can see on the screen, you can access to our resources, type in the keywords related to e-file or express notice of assessment. You will be able to get all the resources related to that. And that is all what we wanted to cover today. Thank you everyone for joining us, and this has been great. And we hope that you had a wonderful tax season. Thank you.